Hey everyone, Hatemael here. I wanted to do a video series I'm calling Feats of Wonder. I had an idea where I wanted to see if I could clear an entire board using just Wonder Girl and one other character. Now I did choose a board that did not have Batgirl lead teams or Atrocitus led teams just because those would be impossible to do with just two-manning it. Also on a side note, I was able to finally get everyone on my roster Legendary 5. So I was pretty happy with able to completing that yesterday and thought this would be a fun video series to run today. Now, almost everyone on my board, with the exception of two people, are equal power level to my teams. So I thought this was a pretty fair board to do this on. This first team is a relatively easy one. I got lucky and was able to one-shot MJ right out of the gate. Otherwise, this match probably wouldn't have gone so well, and I would have had to play it more than once. But I was actually able to do this on my first go around. Some of the other matches took me many tries. Also, on a side note, I wanted to thank M4, Kage, and Uncle, Ansel, however you pronounce his name, for helping me strategize because couple of these matches I got stuck on for quite a long time. I was struggling to figure out how to beat them. The whip damage on Wonder Girl is really the difference on what lets you beat some of these matches. This next one took me quite a few tries. Brainiac is no joke, and also I wanted to note that Brainiac is not a hard counter to Wonder Girl. As you can see, I'm facing two physical characters, two energy characters, so I don't have any kind of affinity advantage against those two characters, but it's 2-on-1. Tried this numerous times with several setups. Clayface ended up being the difference. Obviously, if he had Wonder Girl on the team, I wouldn't have been able to use this setup. Not sure I'd be able to two-man it if it had MJ, Wonder Girl, and Brainiac, which unfortunately you see way too much of. But this was not an easy match. I got lucky here, and I did not get counterattacked by MJ. If I would have, I probably would have lost her right out of the gate. But I guess it really didn't matter because she died anyway. And I thought I was actually going to lose against this Batgirl at first because I had played this match quite a few times, and this was only my second one, so I was starting to get a little bit discouraged and thought maybe this wasn't going to work out and I wasn't going to be able to clear this board. But as you'll see, as we go along, I'm able to pull it out, but it gets mighty close. Batgirl, she's good even outside of lead. I used to never use her outside of lead, but I've started to learn that she's better than I would have given her credit for. I do hope that one day we get a character that gives you a can't miss leader of some kind that isn't tied to evasion down or um, evasion or hit chance up, because those get just purged off by Wonder Girl so easily, and that's why they're such a pain in the butt. You'll see at one point I steal her invisibility and gain all the agility up, which was nice. I see this DCF guy a lot, actually. On this next match, I had to bust out Power Girl because when you have Red Robin and Hired Gun Deadshot, they're usually going to make short work of Wonder Girl. But I was able to taunt once a few buffs went on a few other people that let Wonder Girl get to work. And then her strength ups also make her so strong as well. Being able to cleanse and give yourself more damage is obscene. And Power Girl is borderline obscene too. If they didn't, if Wonder Woman, Pot, and there's a few other characters that really deal with her well, she would, in my book, be considered OP. She probably does a little too much damage for everything she can do in comparison to so many other characters that sit on the bench. I really wish they would just rebalance as a whole. This next match, I decided to use the same team. It's pretty close to the same type of team that I fought in the previous one. The only difference is that I was a little more scared of the Wonder Girl on this team, so I had to refrain from taunting. But Wonder Girl's able to do her nuke, take 2 turns in a row, doing more damage than most characters can do with their big attack, single target, and kill everyone. And I apologize for some wind, I'm outside, not able to use the house right now. This next match took me a long time. I probably played this one 15, 16 times before I found a combination that worked. And surprisingly, Medfill was the one who ended up getting me over the hump. Because I could not keep a character alive. I couldn't keep Wonder Girl alive, and then she has to stay alive to deal with Cyborg Superman because she's the only, her and Etrigan are probably the only 2 people that do enough damage to kill him. And it made it brutal. And then I learned after many attempts that I had to get rid of Emerald Archer Green Arrow, or that just wasn't going to work. I found a couple of comps that worked, came real close, but I could not kill Constantine. That ended up being another challenge for me. So I decided if I run these 2, I actually don't have to kill him early. Because the priority targeting when you're using only 2 characters is so important. And I probably could have finished this match a little faster than it's going to take, but I was trying to play it safe, and at this point I realized I had a shot at beating it, so I was starting to get nervous. I've had a couple of occasions where I got down to just Cyborg Superman, and then he was able to kill the person, but that was using different variations of physical characters. Came real close once with uh, who did I use that? Oh, AW Lex came kind of close. I came real close with Ares one of the times, but he just couldn't stay alive to the Reds in the end. So then it would come down to just Wonder Girl versus 2 or 3 people. And Cyborg Superman doesn't die fast enough for her to solo 2 people at once. But this match, it finally came together. I was able to keep Medfill alive. My respect for Medfill actually went up a lot during this. I realized he's a little better character than I've given him credit for in the past, to be able to put up this kind of performance. And Constantine, when I was using other green characters, he would use his stupid AoE and nuke characters out of the gate so many times. Drive me crazy. Here's where I was trying to kill Constantine first, and then I realized I could get rid of Cyborg Superman early, and decided to just go ahead and when he got down to 1 life, or when Constantine got down to 1 life, I was originally thinking I could get rid of him and then just focus on Cyborg Superman, but you'll see here in just a minute, I believe I'm able, yeah, I hit him and then I end up realizing I could probably kill him. Those strength downs on Medfill are so good as well. Yeah, this is where he has no shield. I get to go 2 turns. I'm like, okay, I got this now, finally. That shield that Medfill gives you on his basic, that's mighty useful too. That kept her alive. That was a tough match. That one took me a good long time. This next one was really easy. I knew right away that MJ was going to make short work of this team. Probably should have used someone else because it's almost cheating. MJ's is outside of Wonder Girl, she's the most OP character in the game by far, in my opinion. I think some people would rank her above. She just does so many attacks. She does so much damage. She's got evasions. When you're fighting against her, it seems like you never ever miss. This was one of those rare matches where my MJ actually dodged. The first run, actually, she didn't dodge. I think I had attacked 4 times and she didn't dodge 4 times and died super quick. So I had to replay this match. But I knew it wasn't going to be that difficult. I was going to be able to get through it pretty quick. Wonder Woman POT, she's strong. I mean, she can't hold up to Wonder Girl fully, but she can take a few shots, which most other characters can't at all. That one, That one I knew was gonna be easier. Didn't take too long. This next one, I probably played this match 40 times. And silly me, I'm using Ares trying to keep Wonder Girl enraged. I was hoping luck would just get her enraged so I could deal with it. Siren just kept kicking my butt when I was trying to use greens to deal with MJ. And then I was like, actually Kage and M4 were. Kage said the only way Wonder Girl can one shot a red is with Atrocitus. And then M4's like, oh, you should just try Atrocitus. And sure enough, first try, just blew through this team. I couldn't believe how easy it was. It's just disgusting how much damage Wonder Girl does with Atrocitus. I mean, just obscene. And then how many turns she gets to take back to back. I mean, you just melt through teams with those two. It's kind of crazy. So next match, another fairly easy one, I would say. And once again, since I'm doing this outside, the wind decides to pick up. I do like Black Manta a lot. I was using him originally because it was the first time I ran this, I was trying to use a quirky team. And Swamp Thing kept mending, and so I was like, maybe I'll use Black Manta and bust out the mends, but ended up killing him quick. Now, I noticed whenever I use his 3 is the only time the heal immunity seems to work every time. But any other time, it doesn't always work. I know Alexi was asking me about that, and there was a Reddit post I was supposed to chime in on that I never did. So I really don't know exactly. It seems like, I mean, I see the heal immunity. I saw it proc just a little bit ago on Martian Manhunter. So I'm not sure what the problem is. I think it does work. It's a little sporadic sometimes, but it seems to always work on his 3. I've never had anybody revive when I use his big attack. This next one, I wanted to see if I could solo it with Wonder Girl, but Doomsday combined with Superman, combined with a stunning, can't solo it. I almost beat it with Blue Beetle once, but Blue Beetle's just so bad. Even with Shielders, it's just sad. He's reworked and he's just a terrible character. The only time he's any good is if you use Steppenwolf, and his AoE can do a lot of damage, especially to shielded characters. But otherwise, he's pretty trash. I love Mira when I'm not facing Wonder Girl. She's so good. When you face Wonder Girl, she just gets your entire team just butchered. But outside of that, she's awesome. I don't think she could solo this. She just doesn't do quite enough damage on her own. But she could stay alive for a while. But the buff stripping from Hal Jordan and the heal immunity from Superman would probably make it so that Mira couldn't solo this. But I got lucky with an all green team. Thankfully, there wasn't a board full of all green teams, and a lot of them were physical heavy, because otherwise, some of the Wonder Girl defenders would call me out on it. Which I'm sure they'll find excuses for this anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but at least this is a more fair representation. This was my New Year's hangover PvPing. I love being low on the boards in PvP. Never seen boards like these before. This last one, I'm sure I could have done this with Atrocitus in 0.2 seconds, but I decided to change up the leader. Just to show that you can use all kinds of different characters with Wonder Girl. Wonder Girl makes your team. Makes your team good. I just don't see you being able to do this with any other character consistently. But this was definitely a lot of fun. Kind of almost don't want Wonder Girl nerfed just because I wouldn't be able to do stuff like this. So I have another series. You should have brought Wonder Girl that I'm gonna roll out that I'm sure will annoy some people, but it's kind of fun to annoy people with this stuff now. giving me something to do in game until they hopefully eventually release some new content, something else to do. But for now, this is what we got. So I'm making the most of it. I still love the gameplay, love all the characters. Come too far, done too much. So I'll probably be here until the server shuts off. But for now, at least this is keeping me entertained until we get something. I will be rolling out a video on Roy Harper in the next couple days once his pack comes out. And as you can see, this was the original board, and here is the completed version. All right, all. Thank you very much. Hatemael signing off.